Hey guys, how's it going? Studman coming back at you once again, and today we are going to talk about a movie that actually just came out on Blu-ray for the first time. You may not have known about it actually, because these types of releases don't always get a whole lot of attention, especially when they're not like related to the horror genre or to specific genres, cult classics and whatnot. This is something that a lot of people are probably going to be familiar with, but they still might not have heard about because it doesn't get a lot of press, right? But I just recently picked this up from Olive Films. They just put this out, and it literally arrived at my doorstep just the other day. It costs $12.99 to pick this up, but I think it's worth it even though it doesn't come with any special features. It's still, I think, very much worth it to pick this up. I have yet to actually see the transfer on it yet, but I'm sure it's much better than the previous DVD release. So, without further ado, we have My Summer Story here. This movie, for those who don't know, is actually the true sequel to A Christmas Story. I know it probably sounds strange, or wait, what, really? Some of you are going to be like, wait, what, really? Because there is a, Christmas Story 2, the sequel that came out a few years ago, right? But this is actually the first actual true sequel to the original movie that came out in the 80s. And the reason that I say that is it actually is directed by Bob Clark, the original director for the first movie, and it is the screenplay was written by Gene Shepard, who also wrote the screenplay for A Christmas Story. So it legitimately and literally is a true sequel to the original movie, A Christmas Story. So if you're a fan of A Christmas Story, then you owe it to yourself to check this out, especially if you never have before, if you never had known about it or heard about it. Starring in the movie are Charles Grodin, as you can see here at the top, Kieran Culkin, one of the Culkin kids, and Mary Steenburgen. Some fairly notable names. You might not be very familiar with them, but I know that the second you see their faces, you're gonna know exactly who they are, right? Especially Kieran Culkin. But I mean, I have no doubt you know who Charles Grodin is, and you know who Mary Steenburgen is too. I mean, they're just notable, important actors, and you know who these people are. There are some amazing moments in this movie. I absolutely love the movie. I understand why some people might not like it, but I personally think it's an absolutely excellent film with a lot of memorable moments, a lot of memorable scenes, and it's a great follow-up to the original movie. I won't say that it's as good as A Christmas Story, but it's pretty dang good. It's like at least a 7 out of 10 for me, or else I wouldn't have paid as much as I did for what is essentially a bare bones release. But it's still worth it to me, especially for just the few scenes that I absolutely love from the film. There are just some scenes and sequences in the film that not only serve as like a time capsule to the way things were back in the 50s when the story is set, but also are absolutely hilarious in a lot of ways. The Bumpus Hounds come back in full force in this movie, and in fact you actually get to see the Bumpuses. So if you ever wanted to see what they're like, and you only ever experienced them through A Christmas Story, then you owe it to yourself to check out My Summer Story. The DVD is pretty hard to come by. I was lucky I found it when they were getting rid of all their old copies of it, and they sold a bunch of copies of it to Big Lots. I found mine at at Big Lots for $3, and I was very happy to pay $3 for it at that point. And it has since skyrocketed in value to like $50 or something like that on Amazon and eBay. Just ridiculous because it's been out of print for so long, right? But now it's back in print here with this Blu-ray. I don't remember if the DVD has any special features worth taking note of, or for that matter, worth holding on to your DVD for. But even if you don't have the DVD, and even if it does have special features, it's still worth it to check out this movie on Blu-ray. I'm absolutely positive it's going to look better than the DVD. The DVD didn't have any issues per se, but I mean, you're talking about standard definition versus high definition. Even if it's not the best transfer, it's more than likely going to win every time out. There are a few examples, very few, where the transfer is maybe not as good or not as clear in high definition as it was on DVD, but that's just it. There are very few of them. There are not enough to really be like, well, I don't know. So with that in mind, I fully recommend picking this up, and well, this is the only pickup I have to talk about today, but I have many, many more pickups to talk about. So, you know, get ready because I recently came into some money for my birthday, and I got some pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, I do recommend this. It comes in a really nice case. It's one of these nicer cases that are, you know, more. If you know the Screen Archives cases, and you know they've got like this this more square look to it, not so round, more square. And the case itself is very strong, very sturdy, and the plastic on there is a lot nicer. Honestly, it's a higher quality plastic. I know it's like, well, who cares? But, you know, if you're a collector, that might be something that you care about. And, of course, there's no eco case here, so you're not going to get cheaped out on by Olive Films here. Although they didn't have any special features on it. But, I mean, it's $12.99 for what is essentially a specialty release of a movie that otherwise would not have been put on Blu-ray. I mean, granted, they could have taken the Mill Creek route and been more fair about their pricing, but it's Olive Films, so I kind of expect it. And, you know, I think $12.99 for something like this in particular, that's more of a, you know, lesser known title, is a fair price to pay. So I went ahead and picked it up. $12.99. Pre-ordered, and it arrived at my door the day it came out. Yeah. So, yeah, that'll do it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you later. Peace.